Well, I think they're wonderful. And there's a lot more going on around the country. And some are designed not only to emphasize the 10th Amendment, they're emphasizing the monetary authority, that the states are required to use only gold and silver as legal tender. So every state is disobeying the Constitution because they accept the court ruling and the federal government's ruling and the laws that are unconstitutional, saying, oh, hunks of paper called Federal Reserve notes are the only thing that you can use as legal tender. So I love it when these states do this. I think Indiana's been doing it, and New Hampshire's been doing it, and more states, liberal and conservatives, are saying we're sick and tired of the federal government. That's very healthy. People have kidded, I think kiddingly, and have urged me to run for governor of Texas, which I have no intention of doing. But the only thing that would excite me is something like this, to run only on that issue and say, look, have some type of redeclaration of state sovereignty, and say that I won't do anything unless I won't accept anything the federal government does, and I will obey the 10th Amendment. I mean, I would hope that could be a good campaign for somebody. That's a pretty important thing to think about, because even if we did enforce the 10th Amendment and we got the states running everything, if their attitude about government stayed the same, you're just going to have state problems. You know, there's a lot of people up in Austin that would like to run our lives too and send down mandates and print their own money and who knows what. The question that people have to ask is, what should the role of government be in a free society? And the founders answered it pretty well. And it was to provide for a sound currency, it was to have a national defense, and it was to protect liberty. The real purpose of government is to protect liberty. And that only works if people understand that the greatest amount of prosperity can come from a system that is based on liberty, and that's when you'd have the greatest prosperity. But as long as people support politicians either at the national level or at the state level that believe that the federal government should be there as the nanny state and taking care of everybody from cradle to grave, and when a country is very wealthy, it doesn't seem to hurt us so much. Now that we're getting very, very poor, all of a sudden they're going to ask the question, maybe the state can't take care of us, and that to me is very healthy and it's going to be good. But the people make the difference. I can't just say, well, I'm going to change the policies in Washington. No, we need a new generation of young people that would understand this well enough and say, I'm sick of Social Security. I don't want to pay it. I'm not going to get anything out of it. Besides, they're going to give me money that won't have any value to it. I want to go on. I trust myself. I trust my instincts. I'd be better off without paying income tax and having my own Social Security system and having sound money. You need a whole new generation like that. But that's where I'm optimistic. I think it's coming. But it's not in Washington yet. It's probably not in Austin either. No, he's a slick, smart politician. Yesterday, he went to Canada. He says, oh, I've never had any intention on redoing NAFTA. Yet during the campaign, it served his interest that we have to redo NAFTA, but not now. Don't want to do it right now. So not doing it right now means he's changed his mind. So no, he's good and he's smart. But he's status quo, down the line. He is the furthest thing from changing the man in the moon. Welfarism, I guess the only change is that he's going to expand everything that's been going wrong. He's going to expand the welfare state, and he's going to expand the warfare state. He's going to build a bigger army. He's going to probably have a draft. He's probably going to have a national youth service. And the welfare state is just going to grow gigantically. So but he's good, because when you hear him talk, he's really eloquent, and it sounds like, well, maybe he should reassess things. You know, now I'm in. I guess I have to change my. Oh, well, yeah, I did say getting all those troops out in 16 months out of Iraq. Oh, yeah, I've got to rethink that. I've got to listen to my generals. They have to devise the plan, and they're saying take 3 years. So high hopes for that kind of change. And yet I have to admit there's a lot of young people that supported me that once I was out of the race, they liked what he was saying, and he did say some good things, and he was construed as a candidate that was more likely to pursue peace than McCain. And yet I think it was deception. I'm just going to continue to do what I've been doing, you know, and right now I'm just amazed that the momentum continued after the presidential campaign. And it wasn't so much, you mentioned earlier about me maybe making predictions and anticipating what's happening. And it's not so much me as just looking at people who are a lot smarter, who knew economics and understood it, understood the business cycle and human nature. I guess I understand a little bit about human nature, and it doesn't take a whole lot to figure out you know, which way we're going. I just hope I'm right on the assessment that we see some real light with a new generation. And at times I have college kids up and refute that with me. And they say, oh, yeah, let me tell you about so-and-so. This is what they really think. So I'm sure there are plenty who haven't joined us, but I know there are thousands that have joined us. So that to me is encouraging.